Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So I was in the garden section the other day. I was looking at getting some more grapevines, and I happened to look on the side of the package, and it said that this product could be bought with a SNAP, with food stamps. Man, I thought that was great. I mean, that's cool. And then I did a little bit of research, found out that it that applies to fruit trees, berry bushes, seeds, anything that's going to grow food. It's fantastic. I took a photo of the sticker and I put it on Facebook, and the comment section filled up with people talking about how to do it, or talking about that they probably couldn't do it because they live in a city or their climate or whatever. Um, but it isn't a solution for everybody, but it's a solution for some, so I want to talk about it. But before we talk about that, we have to talk about food stamps, period, because it's a hot button political issue, and therefore it's been ruined with talking points. There's a lot of misconceptions. So here we go. Here are the facts. More than 10% of Americans are on food stamps. That is a substantial number. That's a lot of people. You're talking, I think it was 44 million. That is a lot of people. On average, the average household gets about $250 a month in benefits. That's not a whole lot for food for a month. About half are working families. It's not the stereotypical image you have in your head. If you don't, the odds are you know somebody on food stamps. Odds are one of your friends is on SNAP. So it's not what you think it is. Okay, so let's just go through the typical complaints real quick. I was at the grocery store and the person in front of me had a full cart and they paid for it with an EBT card. I don't even eat that well. Yeah, I'm sure their cart was full. Those benefits get paid out once a month. So what you're looking at is a month's worth of food. You go there every week, don't you? That's the difference. That's why. Well, it was all junk food. Probably. It was probably all cheap food. Frozen pizzas, stuff like that. Yeah. It's because it's cheap. It's because it's cheap. It stretches that out. They've got to last a month on it. It's also not very healthy, which is kind of why I think the growing your own food is probably a benefit in a lot of ways. Well, they're just lazy bums. There are tens of thousands of active duty military on food stamps. The amount of work you're willing to do has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you end up on food stamps. That argument dies right there. It has to do with income. Period. Full stop. Well, it's a sign of the breakup of the American family. All these single mothers on food stamps. Not as much as you'd think. If you have, say you got two parents, okay? They both work full time at a job making a little bit more than minimum wage, and they have two kids, they'll qualify. They will qualify. The prevalence of food stamps has to do with the fact that the system is broken. And the people who broke it have done a very good job of training Americans to kick down. They always have you looking down. It's the immigrants' fault. It's the refugees' fault. It's those people on food stamps. Anybody doing worse than you, it's their fault. It's not the people who actually broke the system. It's not the people making the decisions up in D.C. It's not the people enabling multi-billion-dollar corporations to pay their employees next to nothing because they know those employees will be okay because they'll be subsidized with your tax dollars. It's not them. It's not them. It's the family working full time on minimum wage. It's their fault. And let's just go ahead and take it to its conclusion. You want to get rid of food stamps? Okay. You're going to get a system change real quick. People are not known for being calm when they're hungry. So if you are doing well in this system, you might just want to eat this one. There are a lot of other government wastes that you may want to focus on before this. Um, this government shutdown goes on much longer and food stamps really do dry up. You'll see it. Um, anyway, so there you go. That's dispelling some of the general myths of this. So now let's talk about the fact that you can actually buy seeds and fruit trees and bushes and vines and all of this stuff that grow food with snap cards. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So the major concern from that comment section was people who live in cities. And they're like, I can't do it here. I don't have any land. I don't have any space. Okay, so some solutions, one of which I can't believe I didn't think of myself because I do it. Vertical gardening. Now I've took a pallet and flipped it on its end, and I've closed off the bottom, so it makes a little trough. Fill it with soil, and that's my herb garden. You can do it with anything. Well, not anything, but a lot of things. It works, takes up very, very little space, and you can get a lot of variety out of it because you have different rows. You also don't have to weed it as much because it's in the air. One I didn't think of, which I thought was really cool, was those little organizers for shoes that hang on the back of a closet. They have little pouches in them. People use those. They fill them with soil. They poke a hole in the bottom for drainage, and they grow in those. They can hang those on whatever, on the sunny side of the house. I thought that was cool. Some of the other people I talked to that grow in cities, they had some more unconventional means of doing it. I'm not recommending this, but it's worth mentioning because, I mean, that is problem solving right there. He just grows whatever, wherever, on any unused land that he finds. Plants it in an isolated area, grows it. Again, I'm 100% certain that is illegal, but I mean, that's cool. I mean, okay. Another option is to, use a church, community center, something like that, and set up a community garden. So everybody pitches in. Again, it also builds that network, builds that community, which is sorely lacking in this country. Another option would be to grow it on somebody else's property who knows you're doing it. And I think you'd be surprised. A lot of people, this is how farming was done for a very, very long time. A lot of people would be more than happy to let you put in a couple of apple trees or a blueberry bush or whatever on their property. And you get the produce off of it because you're increasing the value of their land and it's providing a stable location for you. A lot of times people on food stamps, people of lower means, they end up moving. They stay in the same city, but they end up moving around. This will still give you access to this because trees and bushes, as mentioned in the comment section, do take years to produce. And this would give you access to them no matter where you live. And that was one of the other things, it takes years to produce some of the things that I was talking about. Yeah, it does. It does. The reality is, once you're locked into that cycle of poverty, it's very hard to get out. In a couple of years, when the apples start coming, you're probably going to need them still. And every little bit helps in that regard. Now, a lot of people were talking about doing veggies. The entry to that is a whole lot less. You get seed packets for $1. They don't come back year after year in most cases, but it's something that can be done. There were questions about climate. That's another one. It's something I forget about. I live in the South. Right now I'm in USDA growing zone 8. In English, that means I throw seeds on the ground and spit on them and something grows. It's very easy to grow here. If you live in North Dakota, this is probably not something that's going to work for you. So those are some of the different options. Oh, and you can always grow in containers, in pots, or raised beds, anything like that. And again, it's something that you can use to help build your community and strengthen your community. And it increases your food security, hopefully cuts down your dependence, and maybe can contribute to getting you out. It's a thought. So anyway, y'all have a good night.